Yeah.
He said he's gonna come watch you do the podcast if you don't come up.
All right, I guess I'll come
Oh,
up. Excuse me, guys.
USADA don't fucking play, man.
Oh, boy.
I'll
I guess he's done with his fish.
I'll hold it down. Bring him a cupcake, Frankie. Bring him a cupcake.
Yeah.
So for our
This
viewers,
is what we got to deal with. This is for your entertainment.
Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, FE. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. Whenever tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the champ and the tramp, let the bomb blast.
all right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Champ and the Tramp. If you're checking us out live, thank you for tuning in on Champ and the Tramp Instagram. We have a good one for you guys today. We have UFC legend, lightweight legend, and I mean legend, Jim Miller in the house. Thank you, Jim, for coming. This guy is New Jersey's own. He's from Sparta, New Jersey, correct?
Yep.
And if you don't know who he is, you are not a fight fan, because this guy has literally fought the who's who of the 155 class. And I mean, he has fought the who's who. He's fought everybody in there, including the answer. Little known fact. Maybe most of you guys probably don't know that. That was back in, what, 2006?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. I would like to
It was.
talk about that a little bit, man. I'd like you guys to ham that up. I think that Mr. Miller owes you a piece of an ear or something.
Yes,
right?
yes, he does. Yes, he does. You know, it's funny because I don't know how the hell that happened. You know what I mean? How the hell did either? I was the only thing I think of.
Well, tell
either,
the story. Tell the
all right,
story.
well, I mean, I don't know. I think it was a second round,
Third
maybe.
round.
It's the third round.
Yeah.
It was a 3-round fight, right? It was a
he-
fucking
yeah.
great
He-
fucking fight.
He knows the round, so he was targeting
I
that ear.
I knew.
Yeah.
No, dude.
It was a great fight, dude. That was a hell of a fight.
Yeah,
man.
it was.
I mean, it's typical Frankie Edgar Jersey
Yeah.
Jim Miller fight. I mean, it was bound to happen, right? And we fucking went at it, and dude, you hit me with a head kick. I thought I blocked it. Either and your toenail got me, or you fucking hit my ear and with your shin and pinched off my head.
I think that's what
I was
happened.
like, dude, it fucking flew off my head.
So, like, I've heard you tell the story before. You literally saw it out of the corner of your eye, or it's
No,
caught
I
on,
didn't see nothing.
It's caught on camera.
film, you see it go
Yeah.
off, and my dad was fucking practically on the ring, and he's like, "Hey, give me that tooth, give me that tooth." It looked like my tooth fell out.
I just remember it was like you're beating me up the first 2 rounds, and I was like, "Fuck, I need to do something." I'm like, just rip the high kick, you know? I'm like,
This is amazing.
yeah. I just threw the high kick, and it's like ends up hitting you. It took me down as it happened. I didn't know like what happened.
I didn't know.
And
either.
all of a
was-
sudden,
yeah,
I
felt-
see
but
blood on me, and I'm like
dripping. I'm like, where does this blood
like
just hit?
where? Yeah, I'm like, where the fuck am I bleeding from?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you get done, and it's like you got all your teeth, and I'm like, yeah, like what the fuck happened? I think the best part was going down to the Ultimate Fighter tryouts.
My
your
ear
ear
was
was
huge.
black,
It was
and my
so
eye
huge.
was
Yeah.
bloodshot.
Yeah, went to that was like the week after, pretty much.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a week after, maybe 2 weeks.
I
We
think,
went
yeah,
to
2 weeks.
Hollywood, Florida. I believe
Yep.
we went to the tryout for that was the first season they had 155.
Yeah.
We both go down for the tryouts, and I think I was behind you. And who is man, someone was talking. You're like, hey, I heard you kick Frankie's ear off. I'm like, yeah, he did. He fucking did.
So, did you get in?
No,
No, neither
No.
one. Isn't that crazy
Yeah.
that you guys are like legends in the sport and neither one of you got in? How crazy is that?
two guys that I submitted in. You know, I had 6 fights before that. 2 of the guys that I submitted got into the interview round, and I didn't get into the interview
How
round.
crazy
I'm
is
like,
that?
what the fuck?
I mean, I guess it just goes to show you that, maybe, I don't know. A lot of people have said you need to be a little more boisterous with your
Yeah, I'm
personality.
sure.
I think people could sell personality, and that gets them in the door a lot of the times. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Especially at
agreed.
that time.
Yeah, especially early in that stage of the game. That's what they were looking for. They were looking for someone that's going to go in the house and cause ruckus.
But back to the year. So there's a better story about the year. The year story gets even better, right? Like,
Well, I'll tell you that. Listen, that night, Ligoric fought that night too. He won his fight, so we're out kind of trying to celebrate. I'm fucking all black and blued. My ears fucking throbbing. It's huge. It's just leaking the whole night. And like literally, we're hammered. He kept Chris coming over, just patting my ear off and shit. Like, what are we doing? People are looking at us like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? And but no, Rob Garino from that owned Rhino, he put the piece of my ear in the glass case.
So who
at the
found
gym.
it? That is amazing.
I guess he was in the corner. I guess he found it. It was disgusting, bro. Look at it, dried up booger. You know what I mean? It's disgusting.
It's like an umbilical
learn
cord
what's
that
like
fell
inside
off.
the cauliflower.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
gross shit.
But you could actually feel like if you touched in the inside of my on the top of my ear, you could feel the part missing, the cartilage missing.
You fucking robbed his modeling career from him.
Yeah, listen.
I think it's the only, like, I've never seen a solidified cauliflower ear explode. You've seen a few like soft ones.
Right, yeah.
Who's the girl? Well, I say recently.
Leslie Smith,
yes,
right?
Leslie
Yeah.
Smith took that head kick, and was it a head kick or a headbutt?
I don't even know. A right hand, maybe. I don't know what it was.
Oh
but,
yeah,
I
you're
don't
actually
know what it
right.
was.
I think you're right. But that thing just exploded, literally exploded. You saw the blood shoot across the ring.
Yeah, but that's gotta be a first, like off.
Yeah,
He kicked it off. You know, it's like fucking Mike Tyson. Yeah, Mike Tyson me with his foot.
I remember like, motherfucker, like I threw a head kick, and it's like I don't hit him in the chin, I don't hit him in the temple, I hit him in the ear. Like, damn it!
Oh, dude, that was great. Yeah, that was great, man. Those was some good times. That was what Boardwalk Hall, right? Boardwalk Hall,
Yep,
yeah, and like the auditorium, right? Yeah, shit, man. And then I got into UFC right after that fight. By chance, because we didn't make the show, but then I get the call to go in there, and you were like, what, a year after that, I think, right?
I think 2
years.
2 years after that.
But then at that time we started training together.
Yeah,
up in Martin Rooney's too, Parisi Speed School. Yeah, that was a haul for me. You know? But that was great training. And Martin's a special dude.
He is.
I'm not familiar. What school was this?
Martin Rooney. No, he's a strength and conditioning coach,
Oh, okay.
Parisi Speed School. But I mean, he got. He gets athletes ready for the combine. Athletes ready for the combine. He worked with Olympic athletes. He was on the bobsled team, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was on the bobsled team for a little bit. And,
Yeah.
Was out in Colorado Springs and
Very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
You know?
Helped me a lot. Like because I getting somebody that like kind of knows the ins and outs and the psychology of it, something like that.
Right.
And also it's like he had been around
This
I mean, he was
sport,
with he was with Team Henzo, was cornering Ricardo in Japan and stuff, and doing all sorts of crazy stuff over there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he was great. He was like the first coach that, as far as strength and conditioning coach, that brought you, showed you so much.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was just lifting and running and jumping up and down. He fucking broke it down to
Where is he
a
now?
science. Now he's in North Carolina, right?
okay.
Yeah.
Still training people though?
Yeah, I believe his own place now, right?
Yeah. So he's he kind of he grew Training for Warriors into like almost like a franchise, right?
Yeah.
So like he's got a bunch of places around, and it's kind of that same attitude, just like making the most of your training and shit like that, and it's fucking helping people. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, dude, Martin, the workout would be like an hour, but you'd be there talking for 2 hours, and he just and he was feeding you nothing but like positive shit, you really
awesome.
his book actually wrote.
Mm-hmm.
What was I just read it, Coach to
Coach,
Coach, dude, it's fucking a phenomenal book.
Really?
Yeah, it's about coaching, and it really help you being a better parent. It really would, But shout out to Martin Rooney, man. He's a special guy. Yeah. And then I used to go up to AMA too. With you ever talk to Mike Constantino? No. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, that was fun. That was some good training sessions back then, though, man. Shit.
It was, yeah.
It was. We had some good rooms in there.
Yeah.
You know?
I was actually just talking to some
This
of
is
my
like
guys now
I
about
feel
that.
like I'm at a high school reunion with you guys. I do. I'm just kind of sitting back,
going
drinking
back.
it in, man. This
You're
is
like
awesome.
if this is high school, you're the high school Harry. You're the high school Harry.
I'm the chaperone.
Oh wow.
Oh man,
Oh.
Sada is here.
Yo,
Wow.
guys, this is great.
Fighters here. I was like, Jim Miller.
Yo, this is
Well,
great.
I didn't
update
listen,
my whereabouts.
Yeah.
No, guys, this is great because this is how it happens right here.
Yeah.
We've talked about this many times with Frankie. USADA literally just showed up right now at Frankie's house. This
dude,
guy's
this
got to
is
go
good.
piss in a cup.
Well, no, tell them.
He said yesterday
Hey.
when we were in bed, he goes, I bet they're gonna show up soon.
Yeah, dude, I know
No
it. I
shit.
know it. How crazy? You feel it. You can feel
That's
it.
awesome. That's awesome.
He's eating fish.
All right, yeah. Well, I'm gonna drink some
He's
water
eating fish.
because I don't have to go yet. So I'll just bullshit a little bit, and then when I'm ready to come, I'll come up there. Cool.
Tell him like what, 20 minutes?
Yeah, so he doesn't have to pee yet. So
I'm feeding him fish.
there you go. All right.
And cupcakes.
I'll keep an eye
There
on
you
him.
go.
I'll make sure he doesn't. I'll make sure he doesn't do any illegal substances.
He's gonna hide under the.
This
he's
might
gonna
be
hide
a
under the
first.
jacket.
This might be a podcast first. You know what I'm saying?
I told him I was happy he didn't come up at 6 a.m.
Yeah, for real. This is actually good. They've never came at night. This is good.
Wow.
It's not that. Sometimes they come like I got one guy came at like 10 o'clock at night. I'm in the shower, like looking to get laid. I forgot out of shower, and it's like somebody's pulling into the driveway. I'm like, what the
Yeah, dude.
You got to be kidding me.
They're always coming in the morning, and I always do this. I get up in the morning. You get up in the morning,
Yeah,
and piss.
piss.
I piss. As soon as I lay back
Yep.
down,
They should.
ding dong. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck. I just pissed.
Yeah.
He's got.
And then I gotta go number
Yeah,
2.
yeah.
He's got.
And they gotta sit in
Dude,
front of you.
yo,
Like 3 or 4 times.
Dude,
I've had
I'm
this
Has
shit.
that
Yeah.
happened to you?
Ah.
Some guy followed him. A USADA guy
Yeah.
followed him into
Yep.
the bathroom and watched him shit.
Yeah.
Yes,
How
twice
crazy
now.
is that?
Twice now.
You know the
Twice.
funny thing is the ones that I've shit in front of, they haven't come back. There's always somebody new.
You got that bear shit.
You're like, I'm sorry, and you're like, it's like a scene from Dumb and Dumber, you know? Like,
I mean, I don't.
it's
do you-
normally not like this.
It's you get a small bathroom upstairs, bro. There ain't much room in there.
Hey, thank you. I'd give him the courtesy flush.
No,
though.
but I'm saying, like, he's like on top of you in that bathroom.
Bro, it's listen. I mean, he's upstairs probably, but hey, so I guess I'll listen to this after the fact. If he's listening, if he's not on live right
Maybe
now,
he's live. Maybe he's live.
But dude, I swear he don't take his eyes off me. I'm like, listen, bro, I'm not fucking Houdini over here, and I'm like David Copperfield. I'm to sleight of hand. I'm not. I'm taking his shit and I'm trying to piss in your cup. Am I right? Oh man.
There have been a few nights after Seaside that I could have pissed out my ass, but probably not you.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. See, this is like inside scoop that you guys would never normally get. Literally, that just happened. That was Renee's poking her head through the door, Frankie's wife, and I'm like, she never does that. I'm thinking she's bringing us coffee or something. And no, surprise visit by USADA.
Oh, well, we're gonna have to drinking up USADA. Hang on.
And then the worst part is that you start chugging it, and then it's like once they leave,
Oh,
then
then
you
it's gone.
piss every
You're-
15
It's like
minutes.
the gold, you broke the golden seal, right? It's a wrap.
I just the other day, a couple days ago, they came. I
Yeah.
was doing that.
You have anything coming up?
No, I've been begging. It feels like I hate the fact that I have to like beg.
Really?
I can't
Yeah,
imagine
it's like I was
a guy
I
with the stats that you got would have to
Bro,
beg.
by the way, Jim Miller has the most fights in the UFC.
36.
The most.
No, tied, right? You're tied with
with-
Donald
tied with
Cerrone.
him.
Oh,
yeah.
well, we got the most. So
Sorry.
it's close. But hey, listen, this is
there's still a one there.
I
right?
feel like that's like an Iron Man type of.
That's crazy,
You know, like
man.
an Iron Man type thing. You know, and I like the fact that I got the most time in there.
yeah,
It's like New Jersey guys. I
Yeah.
feel like that's not the epitome of a Jersey guy.
yeah.
The,
You're like-
the toughness.
I think you're like
you know.
7-time fight of the night winner or
Yeah.
something like that too. I mean, you hold a number of
Yeah, I don't
stats,
even
man.
know.
Well, both you and Frankie do. You know, Jersey fucking represents, man.
Yeah.
It just does. It just
It's
does.
something in the water.
Yeah.
Something in the
Well,
water.
actually,
it's probably all the
Chris
pollution.
Chris
Yeah.
Ligori, Chris Ligori, who's also fought in the UFC. You fought
yeah,
Chris
yeah,
Ligori.
yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice, yeah.
Did you? I don't know the outcome. Who won those?
We won both of them, but
Yeah.
yeah. There were
So
some
the-
good fights, man. The one ended with a cut, right?
yeah.
And then you guys rematched.
I guarantee Chris is on live right now.
Yeah, it's Chris still calms me. He still corners me every fight, man. He comes to every sparring session.
Ricardo said he
He's-
could probably still fight because he's got
Nah,
a gas
he could-
tank like
He's
crazy.
the
Yeah.
fucking best
Yeah.
like training partner.
Yeah. He's phenomenal, man. He really is. And dude, he got a tank. Dude's got a tank. I'm like, he's 5 rounds off the couch. He can go 5 rounds. I'm like,
He's
dude.
funny as hell too.
Yeah, good. Fun to have around.
Yeah, he is.
He's been around. You know, Chris busting balls. He busts everybody's balls. That's what he does.
He's got that dry humor, man. When you read it, the shit he types in text, I'm always cracking up. Like, where does he think of this shit?
So what'd you say? I know you wrestled like myself in high school. Then you went to VTech, and you said we almost that year. I know I went to VTech. I wrestled somebody, or did I get a forfeit?
You
that
got a
time?
forfeit.
I got a forfeit. Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't like talking about this, but I missed weight.
You missed
Missed
weight by
weight, yeah.
0.02 pounds, right?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
I was killing myself to make 41s. Like took years off my life. I'm pretty sure. Because I walked on. You know, I went down there not to wrestle. I got accepted for engineering, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'll go do this. And I was like, you know, I had my buddies that were in the dorm, and we were playing racquetball and ultimate frisbee and all this shit. And I was like, you know, always doing something. And I'm like, man, I miss wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's like, can't hurt to email the coach.
Yeah.
Shoot him an email, and he's like, he was an asshole.
Who was it again?
Moreland.
Moreland. Yeah.
And like he's like, yeah, you can come down if you want, So like, I go in and he's, I wrestle one practice and shit, and it was like, I don't know how long that was probably like mid-October, something like that I walked on.
Yeah.
So I mean, they'd already been wrestling since like end August. So like, starter ends up blowing his knee out, and then it's like there's me and a couple other kids, and next thing you know, I'm starting, and it was like I wrestled 40s my senior year in high school, and I went in when I talked to him. I was like, hey, I'll see if I can make 41s. I don't know if I can make 41s. I'll probably be a 49 pounder. And I was just expecting like, okay, I'll just wrestle at some tournaments and it'll be, whatever. The day that I was going to tell him, like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to make 41s. He's like, I need you to start. I'm like, okay, well, I hadn't done a hydration test yet.
Oh no!
So,
wow.
so like, because it, it already come and gone.
Right.
So he's like, you need to go down to the trainer's office and tell him you made 41s. So he literally, like, the day of my certification comes, he comes in, he hands me a cup of his piss, and he's like, bring this down to him.
No.
Yep. And he's like,
Wow.
tell me you weighed 141. I walk in, he does it, writes it down, and it's like, dude, I was.
Damn.
There was no reason for me to be wrestling 41. So as the season was going on, I kept like, I was actually lifting with a real program. So I started like putting on a little weight, and I was a baby 19-year-old too, super late bloomer. So like I was gaining a little bit of weight, and it was just got harder and harder and harder. And we had the double header, and like I made weight the night before, and then like I wouldn't feel good until I got enough fluid in me. But then it was always like, holy shit, I just put on 8-10 pounds, and now I got to cut it all again.
You have to make flat weight the next day.
Yeah, wrestling is crazy.
And, my parents came down that weekend, so like I went, and I wrestled great the first night, and then it's like I missed weight.
Well, you got one. You got one.
So in the UFC, you get a full, you get the morning of, right? You weigh in?
Yeah,
Or is it the
morning before.
The morning before,
right?
The day
so you get a
before,
full 20. Well, more than 24
like,
hours.
probably like 30 hours or something, maybe. Something like that.
But wrestling is always
hour weighing.
Yeah.
You weigh an hour before you wrestle. It's
wrestling
crazy.
is brutal, man. I never wrestled, but I just hear the stories, and it's like, who the fuck would want to do that?
It's awesome though. It's an awesome sport.
Yeah.
Like I say, it was hell. It was fucking hell making weight. I mean,
You just awesome and hell went in the same sentence.
yeah, like because
I guess it's
I'm a professional
right,
athlete.
right.
Like I've gotten the opportunity to do what I do because of
wrestling,
it was only 1 year that I wrestled at Tech, and it's like I learned a lot.
College wrestling teaches you mental toughness.
Yeah.
Man. It teaches you the grittiness. It and a lot of kids that didn't get to experience that, they miss out. Man.
Yeah,
they really honestly believe that.
So you guys were scheduled to wrestle each other at a combine, and you missed it
at a dual meet.
at a dual meet, and you missed it by point or two. So who stepped in for?
Nobody, because I was the only.
Okay.
At that point, I was the only only kid on the team that could make 41.
Wow.
I didn't mind taking a forfeit, baby. So then when you did the 1 year at VTech, and then you came back home.
No, I went to school for another year, and then it was like,
what year would that have been that you were scheduled to fight him? Because you guys
wrestle. You mean wrestle?
That's what I meant, wrestling.
Like
you guys go.
It was
all the way-
early
03?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 years later, you meet at Boardwalk Hall. Then
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. I didn't think how close that was to each other.
I was trying to put that together. Like, wasn't that much later? You guys
You're
meet
right.
up in a different sport.
Yeah.
That's
wild. Yeah. Think about it. Shit.
It is. It's kind of crazy.
But two Jersey guys kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
You guys didn't have to drive far to get there.
No.
I did a little background on you, and I saw an interview you guys did back, I think it was like 2017, 2018, and you talk about that fight, and you're funny as hell in that interview. You talk about how, I guess at the time your gym had just closed or whatever, and they were pressuring you guys to sell tickets, and you're like, I think I sold like 12 to my family, and Frankie sold like 1,500.
Yeah, it was. Nothing ever goes perfectly, right? You know,
Right.
so like,
Shit.
yeah, the gym that I was training at closed down a couple weeks prior, and then like I think I sparred with Dan. Dan had cracked a rib, and I sparred with him. And of course, like I'm not thinking, and I throw like a hook to the body, and it's like as it lands, I'm like, oh fuck, you know, and like so I hurt him. So like I barely fucking sparred, and it's like it's like, okay, you go out, you have a fight with him, he makes it to the UFC, and it's like, all right, I need a fucking team.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like holy shit, like I mean, things didn't work out, but it was still a learning experience in that, like, I mean, things went wrong, but I need people around me because, you know, it went from having a, you know, it was a little fucking gym playing jiu-jitsu, and it went to nothing, you know. So it's like I was training with a handful of dudes.
How experienced was your brother at that time?
We started training at the same exact time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it was you know, like I got a little work in, bounced around to some of the other gyms in the little bit leading up, but it was like after that it's like, all right, need to find a place, and you know,
where did you call home after that?
AMA in Whippany.
Okay.
Yeah. Was there for about 7 years.
Yeah, we trained up there. Me and Chris used to drive up on Sundays.
Yeah.
How far a ride is that from here?
Like an hour and a half, I guess.
Wow.
Something like that.
Something like that.
I drive pretty fast.
You got to pee yet, pal?
Not yet, but
Not yet?
number two. Then I'm gonna be up all night pissing now.
Yeah.
That's my bad thing. So then you come home. All right, you come home. Like what led you to fighting? Like what drove you to it?
Dude, when I was in high school, I wanted to fight. You know,
So when
like
you were in high school, when you graduated, what year did you graduate?
02.
Oh, two. Okay,
What
so
are you-
2 years after me. Man, I feel like I guess I knew UFC '93. That was the first time I seen it. But to me, it was 2005 was when I was like, yo, I want to fight, because I didn't even know it was a legit thing to do.
Yeah, but this guy was we're from the seaside area. This guy was a street scrapper well before his real fight career took off. You a street scrap? Eddie Alvarez too. You know, we've had him in here. Grew up in Philly and street scrapping, boxing gyms, things like that. That was not part of your upbringing, I guess.
Been in one
street fight. No shit.
Really?
Fight.
We got to hear it. We got to hear it. We got to talk about it now.
Yeah, it was at Tech. I was this was like after I had wrestled and stuff, and of course it's like, you know, we're having a kegger, and we had a bottom apartment, and I was over at the neighbors across the field from us, and so I started coming back over, and these two kids grabbed our keg, and there was still like, you know, a third of keg left.
You weren't
Still
giving that
heavy.
up.
Yeah, no, and I was drunk too, so so I was sure shit wasn't giving it up.
Hell no.
So like I yelled at my buddies, and I start chasing them, and you know, they had a good lead, and so like I follow them around the building, and they end up ditching the keg, and I grab it and start carrying it back. Well, then, you know, some of the other kids that I knew, like some of the neighbors, I never liked the kid, but he like followed them, and they start getting into a fight, you know. So I work my way back with the keg, and then it's like somebody comes running back, hey, there's a fight, you know. I'm like, all right, I go see what's going on. So these two kids are drunk as shit, throwing haymakers at each other, and it's just like, you know, and they're like kind of landing. They're both just wobbling and just one for one. And then the kid that I knew like landed one, knocked the kid out. Well, as the kid goes down, one of his buddies comes like flying in from the back.
That's how it always happens.
That pisses me off.
Crack you? Oh, crack your boy. Oh,
going,
yeah.
I wouldn't call him my boy.
Yeah,
That's
but
the thing,
you got it.
right? But it's just like I see that, and I'm in. You know,
hell yeah.
So like I hadn't, you know, done any like really anything, you know, like
you wrestled.
Yeah,
You
we
wrestled.
wrestled. And my brothers and I, we'd always
Sure.
like couch wrestle, you know, submissions and shit.
Right.
So like I just come in and I throw a haymaker while I like basically chop the kid on the side of the neck, knock him out.
That's great.
But like don't let him fall. what do? I headlock him and drive him into a crowd of his friends. So the next thing you know, I'm getting punched and kicked from every direction.
Everybody, right?
Yeah.
Trying to be a gentleman.
Yep. I pick my head up. Some kid's throwing a kick at me. I block it. I take him down. I punch him a couple times. And I like push myself back. And as I'm getting the fuck out of there, somebody comes up and kicks me under the chin. And it just stood me up. And I'm like, let's go. And I start walking after this kid. And then my two big friends came walking up behind me, and he pulls his shirt off, and then he runs.
That's awesome.
I'm good.
And it was like
those like 2 for 1. That's two fights.
Those guys that you were chipping up probably have no idea. That, back then they wouldn't know your name probably.
Yeah.
I mean, now they would have an epic story. Jim Miller. I fought Jim Miller back in the day. You know what I mean? That would be an epic story to have.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah,
So
you hear that a lot though, like fighters that never really been in fights.
Yeah.
Who? God, I'm horrible with names. The fighter a few years back had the intruder that broke into his home.
Oh, Anthony Smith.
Anthony Smith, yeah, said it was most scared he's ever been.
That kind of scared me a little bit, honestly.
Yeah.
Hearing his story, because he's a big dude, and he said he was. I'm like, wow, I'm thinking I'm a badass and shit. Like, dude, someone comes to my house.
Most scared he ever was. But if I remember that story right, I think the guy was really high on meth or something.
Meth,
you have like
but that's
incredible strength, and you don't feel
jiu-jitsu,
shit,
baby. Because you're not gonna knock him out, choke him the fuck out. I don't give a fuck what he's on.
Right.
No blood to the brain is over, right?
Right.
It's funny you said that because that story made me think too. Not that I'm a fighter, but I don't think I'm a big guy. I would never think someone broke through my door. I don't think I'd think twice about fighting them. But hearing his story and the tale of it, he was scared, bro.
Yeah,
he was legitimately scared.
That's why I was like, damn, man. That's why I got the burner on you. You're gonna have the burner.
So upstairs, I got a question for you now that I just learned upstairs. You have Lyme disease.
Yes.
How much does that affect you, man? Because a big part of that is fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
How much does that affect you? I mean, bro, you got 48 fights. I don't know when you were diagnosed with it, when it came on. My sister also has it. Frankie's wife has it. It can be very debilitating. How has that affected your fight career?
It kicked my ass for a bit there. I now knowing what I know, like I never noticed the tick on me. Like I can probably count how many times on one hand how many times I've had like a tick like attached.
Say I'm surprised by that because you're such an outdoors guy, bro. Like I follow you. If you don't follow Jim Miller on Instagram, you should. What's your Instagram handle?
Jim Miller _155.
You guys should follow him. He's a riot on Instagram. He really is. I follow him. He's a very outdoorsy guy. He's always out hunting, fishing. Right now, he's filling his freezers full of meat. He's getting ready for Armageddon. But go ahead, man. Sorry to cut you off.
And Roger's filling his bed filled with meat.
Here we go. Always a gay joke.
But yeah, like I'm pretty sure that I got bit in 2013. I had migraines for like 2 weeks. I had like 10 migraines in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Was like, feeling kind of out of it. Really like nauseous and kind of like flu-like symptoms and stuff like that. And so I went and I saw a doctor and went to ENT and stuff like that. They did a whole bunch of scans. They tested me for Lyme, came back negative.
Negative.
And
wow.
and they're like 50% of people that have it, they say test negative.
Wow.
So like
seems to be a trend with a lot of tests, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and the thing is it's a misconception that the tick, has to be on you for a certain amount of time. It's if the tick regurgitates, if it bites you and it gets like its head into you, and then it's like, I don't like, the soap or the lotion she's got on or whatever, and
Frankie's had a few heads that have regurgitated inside of him. I had to get you back, bro.
Yeah, but everybody knows it's not true. Speaking on
not everybody. That one guy does. The one guy knows it's true.
But yeah, if it regurgitates as it's getting out,
it gets you.
It could get the Lyme bacteria could enter your bloodstream and you get it. So like I said, I had 2 weeks. Really nauseous, like to the point where I'd pour my cup of coffee in the morning, and if I got a sniff of it, like as it was going up, I'd be like, ugh, and I'd start to like,
oh damn,
like heave, taking out the garbage. I would puke every time I was taking out the garbage because my kids were in diapers, so it's like you got diaper shit, middle of the summer.
Did you suspect it at all, or you just knew something was wrong?
Yeah,
I mean, you got to be very, as a fighter, you guys are very in tune with your body. You had to know something was
that went away. it went away, and I started feeling the effects like early 2015 is when it started to like get me. You know, like I'd be in the middle of a workout and I'd go to stand up and I'm like posted on my knee and getting up like an old man, and like I've been sitting down for a bit, and it's like, no, I've been rolling for a half an hour. I should be loose. I should be able to just
like your joints started. Yeah,
everything was just.
And in that, you said 2013 to 15. In that time, you're fighting, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's crazy.
You fought pretty much throughout all of it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So like it started getting like tough. You know, like I had a really difficult weight cut when I fought. The heck's his name? Drawing a blank now, but in early 2015, I had a tough weight cut, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna take a little size off, and then one of the things that started happening is that like if I, like a lot of people have, or they tell you to stay away from like endurance type sports, but that's the thing that I could do. Like that's one of the weird things about my experience is that like I could run on the treadmill for 45 minutes an hour. I could do those types of things. If I lifted, dude, I was destroyed.
Really?
Like I would do like a light upper, nothing compared like to what we used to do, and like
more joint issue. Or
that would be
muscle?
like muscle and nervous system,
but not cardio.
Yeah. So you couldn't. You couldn't. Tax
So
so
it attacked my nervous system quite a bit. Like I had twitching, and I'd get numbness if I just sitting in the same position for a bit. Like leg would go numb, arm would go numb. I never had like Bell's palsy or anything like that, but I mean, I had consistent, like my eyebrow would twitch, my lip would twitch, and like it got to the point where I go into my doctor before for one of my pre-fight physicals, and I was like, Doc, like I kind of feel like shit, and I've been looking it up, and the one thing it makes me giggle every time I say it. But one of the symptoms I had was morning stiffness. So
Roger definitely doesn't have Lyme.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
So
I would obsessed with my sex life.
He's obsessed.
I would wake up in the morning, and it's not having a Woody. It's you wake up in pain. It hurts to move. Yeah. It's got the funniest name, right? Yeah. So like I would wake up in the morning and like it just. I couldn't move for like a half an hour. Like I would just have to lay there and kind of like let it go away. Yeah. And like of course I get on my phone, I'm looking like WebMD, and it's like
that'll scare you. WebMD will scare you.
I was like, maybe I have rheumatoid arthritis. Like my joints hurt.
But that's another autoimmune, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Lyme's is kind of along that line, autoimmune, right? Yeah.
So like I went into the doc and I was like telling him about it, and he's like, you ever like walk into a room and like really forget, and not, because we all do that. Like you walk into a room like, oh, what I come in here for?
Right.
But like there was a period of time where like I would go to do something like, okay, I'm going to go, clean the basement or, like clean the shop so I can get something done. Right. And I'd walk in and I just like sit there. Not even like, no, what did I come in here to do? Right, it wasn't that. It was just like, you lost in where to,
everything.
What to start, what to do. Like just couldn't find myself. And he's like, I think you got Lyme. He's like, you're describing like brain fog. Because Lyme creates a protein in your brain. It's very similar to the Alzheimer's protein and like a plaque. So like that was right before I fought at 196, leading up to that fight in 2016. And my doctor called me, so we ran some blood tests and stuff like that. And like I came back, there's a blood, antibody, right? That they associate with Lyme. It's not a definitive test. It's like CD57 or something like that, and it's hit or miss, right? But I had a level of it that showed that I had like an active infection that I was fighting. So he's like, I think you got Lyme. This was like 3 days before I fought Diego.
Wow.
I'm out in Vegas, and so he's like, when you come back, he's like, we'll get you on some Doxy, and he's like, if it's Lyme, and luckily enough, I've got a doctor who's a fight doctor and ringside doctor, so he knows me. We've known each other for a long time. He knows I'm not just like making shit up.
Meds,
yeah, so like he was willing to try.
Yeah.
So like we tried it, and it was 2 weeks, and I started to feel a difference. It took a while for the joint pain to go away, and it took a while for a lot of things to like go away.
So you started that pre the Diego fight?
No, right after.
Right after.
But like it was amazing that I saw a positive response. Yeah.
From the doxy.
From the doxy.
Yeah.
So like I was on doxy for 6 months. I think I missed one treatment, one pill, and like I felt completely better than I had, in March.
The previous, yeah.
Yeah, and that was right after I fought Joe Lozon the second time. And so like I was like, Doc, I'm feeling pretty good, and this I would go to the bathroom like 5 times before noon. When I was that first run on doxy, I mean it just murdered my gut.
Really?
Man. So I was like, I'd like to try to go off.
Is
of
it antibiotic?
Yeah,
Doxy?
yeah.
Were you taking probiotics, all that stuff?
I was, but it was
Still too much.
Yeah, it was too much.
Don't they say antibiotics weaken you?
Well, they can, right?
Yeah, they can affect
like
a lot of things like cardio. They destroy your gut biome.
Right.
I remember when what's his name fought Ferguson, and he had the staph on his chest, and they were talking about he didn't want to take antibiotics before the fight because it can make you weaker. I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it does. I mean, yeah.
I've fought on him a few times. It's not fun. But yeah, so I was I went off of it. That was September of 16, and it was like I think it was like 7 weeks, and it was right before I fought Alves. And I'm like doing an interview. I'm like in New York, before 205, and like my eyebrow starts twitching, and I'm like, no, like this isn't it again, like this is just something like, and like I'm not going back on the doxy. It was like a couple weeks later, 3 weeks later, boom, fucking hit me hard again, and then for like December of that year, it was just a struggle I was like, I got to get back on, and it was like, all right, let me do it right and take everything at the right time and this and that. And like, I'm just jumping around. Like I can't do that. Like I can't take pills 6 times a day consistently because it's like the doxy, I had to have something in my stomach,
right?
And then you're not supposed to take anything within 2 hours of it. I had given myself an ulcer from the doxy because I took it right before bed, which you're not supposed to do.
Oh, wow.
So what, doxy is 6 pills a day?
No, it's 2 pills a day. But then I was trying to take like my probiotics and all my other supplements and stuff like that and space it out. Yeah. And like it just wasn't working. So like I was getting ready to fight Poirier, and I mean it came back with a vengeance, and it kicked my ass, and that was a tough one. That was a really tough like couple weeks leading up to that fight, and like fortunately like after the fight I kind of got back on it, and
so it just like your day, like you just couldn't do much. Were you able to train, or it just made training really difficult?
Before when I fought Diego, I was training like 4 sessions a week. I mean, like that's all I could do.
Wow.
After that, it was easier to get more in, but it was still, for a while, it was still hard to do like the hard stuff, to do the sprints, to do the heavy lifts. It wasn't until like 2017, I was still dealing with it. And then I was dealing with like things associated with taking like doxy, which you can get B vitamin deficiencies and stuff like that. And I got that. So like I'm hitting pads one day before the Pettis fight, and my pad holder slaps me with a tie pad in the elbow, and it's like my hand, my whole arm goes numb. Like I hit my funny bone. And he hit me with a 4-inch thick pad, and I'm like, what the hell, And like and one day I was at the grocery store, and I like go to close my truck door, and it like kind of like bounced open a little bit. I didn't hit it hard enough, so I just like scooped with my elbow, or I like caught the funny bone with on the door, and it was for like 2 seconds. It was some of the most intense pain of my life. Like I literally put my face in my seat in the truck and like screamed, and it's like what the hell's going on? So my doc's like, yeah, your nerves are sensitive, and you got a B vitamin deficiency. Like get on some B vitamin. And again, I was like, okay, throw some B vitamins into the mix.
I never heard that before.
Yeah.
So if you have a deficiency, your pain receptors are more.
So it just like sensitive. Your nerves get sensitive. And then like it affects your nails and stuff like that too. So
No
like I was
shit.
dealing with that. Like I'd bump my toenail and it'd split in half. But 17 was like I worked through it. Right, it wasn't like perfect. I started feeling a noticeable difference after like being on my supplements and the doxy for like that full year. And 2018 started to feel pretty good, and then like felt good through 18, and then it was actually New Year's Eve was the last. New Year's Eve of 2018 was the last time I took doxy because I ended up getting the stomach bug, and so I rung in the new year puking that year.
Man.
But I got like I got so sick that like I couldn't eat for like 4 or 5 days because if I ate something I'd get all bloated, and I was like, listen, I just like I can't take this stuff anymore. I can't do it. I was on it for like 2 years.
Yeah, man.
Like I can't do it anymore. So I like for like a week all I did was like drink kefir and like eat sauerkraut and like all these other like
Probiotics. Right?
probiotics and good
The
stuff
gut
that's good for your
biome,
gut.
right?
And like since then it's been pretty good. Like I deal with things here and there, but nothing's like really.
Sounds like it's a
Not
real
bad.
trade-off, like it's to get better and get over the
Yeah.
symptoms that you have from the Lyme. There's side effects, which there
Yeah.
are with almost anything, really. I
Yeah.
mean, you know what I mean? So it sounds, but for the rest of your life, you're going to experience flare-ups probably, right?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things. I've gotten to do some events with some of the Lyme, organizations and stuff like that, and it's crazy how differently it affects people.
Yeah, right.
And
right.
I mean, that's like one of the things. Like the first couple times I went, I was like, man, like some of these people are really bad off. Like maybe I don't have this. And then it took like going to a couple of these events and seeing the stories, and it's like, holy shit, that's me. Like that's exactly what I felt. Like when I had the resurgence in 2017, the beginning of 2017, when it came back and it waffled me, I'm like, maybe it's something else, and then people were talking about the same exact thing, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah,
like
that's it.
I thought my experience was unique, and it's not, but yeah, it sucks. It sucks because it's like you don't know, and it's hard to explain, and since the fact that it is different for everybody,
It's tough to pinpoint.
it's tough to pinpoint it, and like it. I mean, I feel so bad. Like I mean, it worries me with my kids, right?
Yeah,
like
I know, dude,
you're like shit, because it's how it presents in kids is different than how it presents in adults usually, and it sucks that it doesn't get enough like attention from like funding and stuff like that from the government.
And not just for me, for the viewers too. It comes from only a specific type of deer tick, correct?
I don't know about that. There's a lot of things I don't think they know.
I think there's like another 1 or 2 species of ticks that can spread it.
Okay.
But it gets like bounced around through, deer, mice are actually like the biggest like spreader of it, right? So like
Didn't I just see you do a video about mice?
Yeah,
I just saw you do a video about that.
yeah, freak people out because, oh my God, he's got mice in his house. Yeah, it's a 150-year-old house, like with a dirt floor, basement, So, but yeah, like so mice, deer aren't coming into your house.
Mhm.
Deer aren't like getting into close to your living area. They might come through your yard and shit like that, but like mice will.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the ticks hop off of them, and then they get on your dog and stuff like that. So it's like it's super important to like make sure your dog's up to date on their flea and tick stuff. And like there are a couple. One of the things that I really noticed, like at my old house, we lived in like farm country and shit, and there was there are deer around and stuff. I mean, they didn't come into our yard too often because I had dogs that would chase them out. And
you hit him with the bow.
yeah, exactly that too. But I've found way more ticks on me like in the backyard there, either working in the garden or whatever, than I ever have like in the woods. So up around me, I don't know if it's the same down by you guys, but like bluebirds are one of our birds that are they live around there and shit like that, and they eat a ton of ticks.
Really?
Yeah, and like possums too. So like
possums eat ticks?
Yeah, possums eat a ton of ticks.
Wow.
Did not know
So
that.
like try not to be an asshole to possums.
Yeah.
Right.
They look ugly, but they're
they're ugly
doing
and
a
they're a
job.
pain in the ass. And
They're
unfortunately,
actually, actually semi-cute until they show their teeth. And they're like...
You like that rat tail they got too?
No,
I don't know about
it's a
that.
prehensile. It's a prehensile.
Yeah. I mean, I remember going running just like in one of the parks here.
Mm-hmm.
I went running. I took my dog with me. Bro, ticks all over my dog.
Jersey
I
has
went
an
through. I feel like I
incredible
went through
amount of
like
ticks.
a I don't know like a nest.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm looking and I'm like, I think I got all of them. I'm looking down. I couldn't see them until they started moving.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? I was bugging out, dude.
Then you feel like
Yeah.
itchy.
Oh, I gotta
Every time I go for any sort of extended hike or walk in the woods in Jersey, I swear I get one on me every time. I've never had one tested. Never. Actually, that's not true. I had one on me one time in the shower, and my ex took it off and freaked out and sent. She had an assistant at the time. Sent him to there's a place right off 571 that does testing, agriculture place, and had it tested and it was negative. But
yeah, I had Lyme's when I was a kid, but they I guess they found it, the tick. So then I got antibiotics right away.
Yeah.
And I was wasn't bad after that. But I do. Oh yeah.
Oh, so if that's the key,
Yeah, I think if you catch it early, that's what I hear. If you catch it early and you get on a run of antibiotics, you can beat it.
Yeah.
So you had a tick on you. You were tested. You were positive, and then immediately got on antibiotics.
Yeah.
Because I feel like most people don't get tested, right?
Yeah.
Most people are
But
just.
I think I had the traditional
The
trigger
bullseye.
mark
Yep.
or bullseye. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he's gonna come watch you do the podcast if you don't come up.
All right. I guess I'll come
Oh,
up. Excuse me, guys.
You Sada don't fucking play, man.
Oh, boy.
In a nice way.
I'll
I guess he's done with his fish.
I'll hold it down. Bring him a cupcake, Frankie. Bring him a cupcake.
Yeah.
So for our
This
viewers,
is what we got to deal with. This is for your entertainment.
have you ever had anything like this, Jim, happen where you're like at a family dinner and USADA shows up? Or?
Nothing like that.
Not per se.
Yeah.
He said normally they're in the morning, but
Normally, yeah, I get them a lot of times in the morning.
yeah,
Occasionally, I've had it where they show up at night, which is a pain in the ass.
right.
As well, But for me, like the toughest part is like I'm usually in the same places, so I always forget to update my whereabouts, and then it's like, I got a whereabouts thing. I missed one, one time I was in Wisconsin. And
Oh, no
like,
shit.
Yeah.
Is that a big deal?
No, you get 3 strikes.
Okay.
Right. So so it's like, well, I'm not making it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's no possible
You could
way,
send
yeah.
somebody out here, and it's like, nope, that's not the way it works. And it's like, all right.
Yeah, he was saying, I mean, not that they're lax, but they have a general understanding. He's got, when he's in a fight camp, he has the same general, gameplay. He's in the same place pretty much every time, and he gives them all those locations. And sometimes they do show up at, Ricardo's or wherever they may show up. But, yeah. So, all right, I guess we can hold the fort down while he's gone. Yeah, let's get back to your fight career, man. Do you have any one fight in particular that stands out as like one that was just that resonates with you as being like just an epic? I mean, you've got so many, bro. I went through the list today and I was like, holy shit, I forgot he fought that guy. I think you and Frankie have fought like 5 of the same guys or something.
There's a few, yeah. There's definitely a few.
Benson Henderson, Oliveira, Maynard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I'm missing a few, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who else.
Any of them stand out? I mean, as a fight fan watching, I mean, you fought Takanori Gomi, but as a fight fan, I can tell you, I mean, obviously, and I think Frankie would even agree. I don't know. Sometimes he hits me with weird shit, but the Gray Maynard trilogy, I mean, that was just amazing. But you fought Oliveira twice. You actually fought Chris Ligori twice, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Anything stand out in your head as one fight that is like that defined me as a fighter?
I mean, that's not necessarily defined me as a fighter, but like when I fought Joe Lozon the first time, it was one of those fights where it's like I was in it, and you're like, this is special.
Yeah.
Like this is.
I remember that fight. Yeah.
This is gonna be something, right? Yeah. Like I've had performances that I'm super proud of, and fight in front of my kids was amazing. Like I wasn't sure if that was ever going to happen because in 2016, like I was I was thinking that UFC 200 was going to be my last one. As I was leading up to that fight with Diego, I was like, man, like I just want one more.
Right.
Like, and then I started to feel better leading up to the Gomi fight, and figured I'd keep going as long as I could. And so I wasn't sure that it would ever happen, that I'd get to fight in front of my kids. And then Sawyer,
and to come out with the W on that too.
Yeah,
was nice,
yeah. And then Sawyer is he's 5, so like he wasn't that old when it happened. I think that was at 2018, or maybe early 19. So like he's like 4 years old at a fight.
Did he get it?
No, I don't think, not really.
Tino's middle child. Frankie's middle child. Tino is his biggest fan. You know, he's into the fight scene.
Yeah.
He's Dad's biggest fan. So you have four boys.
2 and 2.
2 and 2. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So
I mean that was an amazing one to share with them. But yeah, like the first fight with Joe, like, I mean, there was just something that felt different about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like,
that obviously was fight of the night, right?
Yeah. That was fight of the year in 2012.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't get anything for it, but
you got a title.
Informal, but it was fun. I fought Nate that May in 2012, and first round of the fight with Nate, I threw a left knee and he stepped back, and I tried to catch myself, and I tore my extensor muscle in my right foot.
And you knew it immediately.
I went down. So like, I go through the fight and, whatever, then can't really walk afterwards. But like the following week, I had an appearance with a couple of the other fighters at Walter Reed.
Oh, wow.
And Joe was there. And so like, I'm in a walking boot and like hobbling around and stuff. And they're like, it's going to be a little bit quicker if we put you in a wheelchair. And I'm like, I'm at Walter Reed.
Yeah.
These people are coming over here with like
missing limbs.
Missing limbs and legit stuff. Like, you're not putting me in a wheelchair. And Joe's like, I'll push you. And I'm like, and we like, I had done stuff with Joe before that. And so we were, had hung out a little bit, done signings at some of the expos and stuff like that. So we were cool. And he was actually he was supposed to fight Gray. And he was going to call me to help him train for Gray. And then Gray ended up getting hurt or whatever. And I remember I was in the woods when I got the call for that fight. I'm
hunting.
Yeah. Like it was later at night. So like I had always wanted, like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go in like as deep as I can. It's New Jersey, so you can't really
go that deep.
Can't get lost in New Jersey. Right. But I'm like, I'll just stay out overnight and then I'll, be out like where I want to be in the morning.
No way.
Yeah. So
no
like,
way.
So I'm like,
wait, you stay in the stand? You stay, or you put a ground blind up?
I went. I brought a little. I brought my tarp, and I
that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I slept under a tarp, and
not many people do that.
Had a long log fire and stuff like that. So I'm literally sitting next
in
to
New Jersey. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm literally sitting next to a fire, like eating like a hot dog or whatever I had, like ramen soup or some stupid crap, and my manager at the time calls me. He's like, "Hey, you want to fight Joe in 6 weeks?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not? Let's
do it."
So like, I had a couple weeks to train for the fight, and the fight was, I guess it was like the 29th of something, I think, of December. So it's like right after Christmas.
Right.
I think when did we fly out? We flew out a day late, so I think we came out on the Wednesday, like the 26th. So it was like. It was weird because it was super laid back. It was super quiet out in Vegas for some reason, like I know like Christmas is a little bit different.
Yeah. I didn't think Vegas was ever quiet.
Yeah.
Except for when COVID hit, of course.
Yeah. But for whatever reason, it just felt like super like
chill.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, two of my brother was supposed to come out and corner me. And then my Thai coach at the time was supposed to come out and corner me. Neither one could make it. So like my dad he was coming out for the fight. So he ended up being in my corner.
Oh, no shit.
And then Martin was coming out. So, I had him be in the corner and, like I just remember going into the fight and like, I had been working a lot because I didn't have a fight coming up. And I was doing some rehab on my leg. So like I just been like I could hit pads. Like what would bother me with the extensor tear was pointing my toe. So like if I was sitting down,
didn't require surgery.
No. Like I basically like cherry bombed the muscle. Like it went like 65% of the way like laterally, and then like a few inches like up and down. I went to the foot doctor, and he's like, usually we see this like 55-year-old women that fall downstairs. You know, he's like, we don't see a lot of professional athletes tearing their extensor muscle. I'm like, oh, well, that's great, thanks, bud.
Hold another worthless record.
Yeah. But so like it was hard for me to roll for a while, because just like that pointing my toe, sitting back on my heels, like if I was in somebody's guard, wasn't working. So I was hitting a lot of pads. We'd been working on elbows a lot. So like went into the fight and just, you know, our saying was like, if you're gonna throw one, you might as well throw three. Yeah. Like, you know, because it's such a short range weapon. So it was just like, I remember pumping that first one. It's like, oh, it landed, and just like start going. And I got it, the messed up thing is where my kids were sitting when they came to the fight. Those exact seats when I fought Joe that first time, I squirted his blood into those seats.
No shit.
So like, yeah, I ruined some guy's suit.
No shit.
So like, yeah, it was.
What was it? I mean, I can't vividly remember them. I definitely saw them, but was that some ground and pound action? What were you doing?
No, it's on our feet.
Okay,
it's on our feet.
Right.
So yeah, so I was just able to throw a bunch of those, and like, you know, it was. I mean, we just went right. We just fought hard and
epic fights.
You know, like he didn't go down. I remember them stopping the fight in the first there because he was cut up pretty good, and I'm like, just don't stop it.
Yeah.
You know, let's keep going. And yeah,
I feel like fighters never want, you know, when there's a cut, they never. I guess unless it's horribly impairing your vision, which it's not always stopped because of that. You know what I mean? Usually it's when it's over the eye, right, bleeding into the eye. Yeah. Most of your stoppages come there below the eye, not too much. Yeah. No, Frankie's had his nose broken 9,000 times. They don't ever stop it for that. But yeah, ever had any significant injuries in a fight? I mean, as you know, Frankie is, you know, the human punching bag over there, always ends up with a broken nose or something, but just keeps on going. The guy has no quit in him. I feel like I don't remember seeing many injuries on you.
I separate.
You're not a bleeder. You're not a bleeder like Frankie.
Every now and then, yeah, I've gotten a couple fights or a couple scars, you know, cuts and fights. That fight with Joe, that's actually one of the most annoying injuries that I had. Is I threw a bunch of calf kicks, and like, you know, you kind of dive into fighting before you get to do all the work that kickboxers do. So my shins weren't super conditioned in 2012, even though I'd been fighting for a few years at that point, 7 years. So I got a nasty bone bruise that I ended up dealing with for a few years. I separated my shoulder when I fought Oliveira the second time when he slammed me. Separated my AC joint. Gray broke my nose. Tore the muscle with Diaz. I mean, like I fared pretty well in the fights. Like a majority of the bullshit that I've dealt with has been training.
Yeah. That's what Frankie says too.
Yeah.
It's hurt more in training than he does in sparring than he does anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. You look at the time spent, right?
He also says, and again, I'm not a fighter, so I just pay attention to the things he says, but you know, he says like it's more I guess more injuries happen going like half speed than it goes full speed.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
100%.
if you try to roll with somebody and do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, maybe it's somebody new and you're like, all right, I'll go easy, I'll go half speed. He's like, I injure myself more often than I do if I'm at full speed, you know, going with a guy that's, you know, same belt as me or whatever. So, you know, it's hard. It doesn't sound like it makes sense, but I guess it does. Your body, when you're a professional fighter, I guess you're just conditioned to roll like that. And, you know.
And you because the problem with like half speed, right, is that somebody always, they just step on the gas a little bit, right? One of the worst cuts I've ever seen happen, you know, at the gym like that, where it was like, it was supposed to be like just really light, like a warm up, and one of the guys went to throw a body shot and he dipped his head, and the other guy just tried to flick up a kick, and his knee caught him in the forehead, and I mean it was like It was a huge,
Frankie's got a
huge cut.
Great story about that with, he's told it on the air before, but with Corey Anderson. Corey's like the nicest guy ever. I'm sure you know Corey. He's literally the nicest guy ever, but he was fresh here. He was a newbie. He was right out of the fight house.
Mm-hmm.
And Frankie said, I'll roll with him or whatever. And I guess Frankie shot and really shot into his knee, but he thought Corey threw a knee and he didn't. Saw it later on the camera, but got a cut out of it, and he was but it happens, man. It's a fight game, So
it is.
It sucks when it happens right before your fight. And
always
you know what I mean? Yeah, it seems like it does to a lot of people.
I got cut a few weeks ago, and it's like, holy shit! This is the first time I've been cut in training, and it's like I'm not fighting in 2 or 3 weeks.
You're right.
Because usually that's what it is.
So what is your fight, or is your not fight regimen? Your training regimen right now? I mean, because you don't have a fight scheduled. This guy, I feel like he's never out of the fight game. Are you pretty active? You're such an outdoor guy. I feel like, where do you find the time? You're always in the woods. You're always hunting. You're always fishing. You're working on your house. You're a father to 4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many days do you train in the off season? Not in the off season, because I guess you always have to be ready. But when you don't have a fight on the calendar,
it all depends, right? I mean, that's the tough part about it. Like I would love it if they were like, hey, you're gonna fight every 3 months,
right?
Every 4 months. Like it'll be on the schedule, like, and then it'd be like, all right, I'm in the gym all the fucking time,
right.
Where then it's like, I mean, I fought in August, and I asked if I could fight by the end of the year back in September, and it's like, well, maybe maybe not.
Now you have a management team that does all this for you,
Nope.
or you do it?
Yeah, I do it. Yeah,
right.
not anymore. Sometimes you don't align with people, and so for me, it's just been easy enough to.
Good deal, yeah.
Well, I wish it was easier,
right?
But yeah.
So how does that for people that don't know, including myself, how does that work for a guy that represents himself? You're essentially your own manager.
Mm-hmm.
You literally are picking up the phone and calling UFC brass and saying, "Look, get me in there. I want to fight." That's literally how it happens.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? So you just keep
sometimes, sometimes not. So it's it is annoying.
Yeah.
As a fighter, my objective should always be to just be training and doing what I got to do. But like at this point, like I opened up my gym in 2014. So I wouldn't have to deal with the bullshit.
Mm-hmm. I saw that on your jacket. Yeah.
Yeah.
You and your brother, right?
Yeah, it's mostly me.
Okay.
We started it together. He had ended up, he got neck surgery. He had a bone fusion, and
oh fuck, man.
He came back for one fight, but he of course he re-injured it a couple weeks prior, and but Dan's doing his own thing, and
your family does construction, right? You both grew up in the construction business?
Yeah, I grew up in the construction business. So.
Right on. So, Frankie too. His dad's a plumber, so that was his start.
Yeah.
What's your pick on the upcoming Conor McGregor fight? Who do you think's taking that?
I don't know.
As a guy that's fought Dustin.
Yeah, like I would love to see Dustin win. I think he's got a path to victory. I think he's got to push the pace safely in the beginning of the fight, make Conor work, but not be reckless. Not put himself out there where he can get clipped. But he still has to make him work.
Yeah.
Like he still has to start working on his gas tank, and I mean if Dustin can keep that going, you're gonna see Conor fade. But as much as like Conor's antics bother me, because that's kind of a side of the sport that like I really just don't like.
Same as Frankie. Same as Frankie. Yeah.
Like it's. And Conor didn't invent it. He didn't create the environment for that shtick to be.
Who did? I mean, if you go way back to Muhammad Ali, or are we talking about the Chael Sonens? I mean, I think Chael started it first, really, in MMA.
Yeah, like I remember back in the day, I was getting like doing interviews, and they're like, "Well, why don't you do this, or why don't you talk more trash?" And it's like, well, if you know that it's not real,
right?
How is it entertaining to you?
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali did this and this and that, and like, how the hell are you putting anybody up to Muhammad Ali?
Right.
Like the guy would literally write poetry about
literally.
his opponents.
Literally.
And then out of the ring, he was like a humanitarian to the point where nobody's
there will be never
not.
be another Muhammad Ali. Definitely not. But I think you can tell when it's contrived, and you can tell when it comes naturally. And to me, McGregor's a guy that comes naturally too. He's just very good at it.
Yeah.
And I'm not hating on the guy because he normally backs it up. In the ring. But there are guys, that I think it's very contrived and it doesn't come across well at all. And then I don't think Frankie would be good at it. I don't think you would be good at it. I think you guys, you let your you do your talking in the ring.
Yeah.
But yeah, some guys and they get big paydays out of it.
They do, and that's.
You got YouTubers now. You got guys like Jake Paul calling out UFC. I mean, what is your take on that? It's because they talk well, and I don't want to say he's a. He's not an MMA guy. He's a boxer, but I don't want to say he's horrible at it. He's better than me, but I mean, he's calling out guys like Conor McGregor. He's calling out, big names. I mean, I don't hate on him. I mean, I guess if you can create a want for the public and people are willing to pay, I mean, that's capitalism, right? Like, how do I hate on it?
It exactly. It's tough to to be a hater, right? And it's kind of annoying when I see some of my peers like buying into it, but at the same time, it's like, well, a professional fighter is having to call out a YouTuber so that they can get a professional fighter's payday.
Right.
Like the amount of money that he made and would make fighting, some of these guys.
Would you do it? If Jake Paul or I know you're not the type of guy, and I know Frankie's not the type of guy. Frankie Perez, a good friend of the show, a good friend of ours, comes on here. He's been calling out Jake Paul for a while. To put food on your family's table, would you fight him?
I'd fight him any day of the week.
Yeah.
Like, that. I mean, that's one of the things that I think some of the people, especially like Jake's fans, right, aren't fully grasping, is that like. All right, we go into the octagon, and we have to deal with everything. Yeah. Punches, elbows, kicks, knees, and then grappling and all that stuff against somebody that's been doing this for a lifetime. But if you said, "Hey, focus for the next 6 weeks on boxing," I've been boxing a lot. Like, I like to kick people. Right. but I've
take part of the ear off.
I've thrown thousands upon thousands upon thousands of punches.
Right.
It's gonna come a lot easier for me.
I guess I asked that question to you as kind of, I guess, because you are a legend in the sport. You're so respected. Frankie as well. Do you feel like that would take away from your legacy to fight a guy like that, or you don't care because you could? You told me you're finishing like 11 rooms in your house. The guy's got like a house that's like 150 years old. He's redoing like 11 rooms. I think you already did 10 of them, but that costs money. Would you do it to benefit your family? Would you take that? Yeah,
100%. I would. And the thing is like, I'm a ball buster too.
Yeah.
Like nobody has busted my balls yet.
Yeah.
Right? Like I look at a guy like Biscuit.
Nobody's. Yeah. Because I've obviously, I remember most of your fights. I've seen a ton of your fights. But has anybody talked shit to you?
Not real.
Right.
Like not real shit.
Right.
Like they've said all the stupid stuff. We used to do the interviews beforehand, and they're like, you got to say something, star it,
star it. Yeah, that's it. They always want to star the ones that they're going to use for their little promo.
You'd have to say 5 little phrases that would stir the pot enough that they would star them. So like you'd learn it, and you just walk in there and you say 5 sentences like, I'm going to beat the fuck out of him. Shit. Like,
you want to get out of there,
and you get in and out. And the first time you do it, and you're talking normally.
So you guys
then you're in there for a half an hour.
You guys are basically reality TV stars then.
Yeah.
For the most part. I
feel like they've gotten better with that though.
Oh, they have. Yeah.
I think they know that they're like we're beating a dead horse. These guys, they're not fucking talking shit. What are we doing here?
We were just talking about while you were up there doing your pee thing. How'd that go? By the way,
everything
good?
came out okay.
Everything came out okay. Okay, good. Just how it flows so much natural to some guys.
Doing my pee?
No, shit talking, you idiot. Talking shit. For some people, the Conor McGregors, the Chael Sonens and stuff, and we've talked about that down here before, but to me, it would be so contrived if two guys like you did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would be forced. I mean,
Right.
Listen, I bust balls with my friends. I talk
Yeah,
shit
you
to you
talk
all day
shit
long.
all day long,
I could
yeah.
do it all day, but
Yeah.
it's just not because I'm having fun with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I for me, that's it'd be forced. I'd look stupid, and it wouldn't be very funny. So that's why I stuck to
Just giving you Cliff's notes on what happened while you were out, pal. And then
thanks.
I was asking a little bit about Jake Paul and like, would you, if he called you out, would you take that fight? Not, because I feel like you guys are both legends. I'll ask you the same question. You guys are both so legendary and so respected in the sport, but that shit put food on your table too.
Money talks,
You know what I mean?
bro. Money
So-
talks.
right,
So you got to be
right,
real. I
right.
mean, why wouldn't we? I mean, we put ourselves in a position to do this. I mean, it's not like, would you go race a motorcycle down the block for that? No, I wouldn't do that, but I'll fight. Yeah, I fight. Will I fight this guy who can't fight for millions of dollars? Absolutely.
Man, everybody's putting on fights now. Why don't we do? You got the the mats down here in the basement. Why don't we get like the Miller brothers against like the Diaz brothers? We'll do a little pay-per-view down here. We'll sell it $39. That's a deal.
Yeah.
That's a full $20 off what they're charging here. We'll do a $39.99 deal down here. You can run a camera, right?
There you go.
We're good. We got this.
I always said like I'd have fight. I would have fought Dan. And then the shit talk would have come out. Because I would have been like, "Hey, mom's got to be in your corner." like his mom's a bitch.
Was it competitive growing up? I mean, were you guys pretty even?
No. Dan was
a lot bigger, right?
Yeah, Dan was 70 pounds heavier than me at
Wow, okay.
one point.
Yeah.
For like a majority of like our.
But he's
our
your younger brother, correct?
No.
No, he's
Oh,
older.
okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got that totally backwards.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody thinks that. Do I look old?
Yeah, no, I don't know why. I don't know why I got that.
But yeah, like
A lot of people think Frankie's older than me too on the show, so most of our fans
Yeah?
think he's older. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that yet.
Really? I get it all the time.
No.
Get it all the time. Check the comments. Oh, you don't read comments. He doesn't read comments. I forgot.
That's what Joe Rogan says to do.
Yeah.
Don't read the comments.
What's your
It is. That's what you got to do.
leave it and what do you call it?
No, that's what Joe Rogan called it, so I can't fucking steal it.
Yeah.
Post and ghost.
Post and ghost. That's it. Yeah.
That's what Roger does to his lady friends.
Always trying to get me in trouble, man.
What do you mean?
I have a
You-
one.
I know you have
lady
one,
friend
but it
currently.
doesn't mean like
Over the years, are we talking?
No, I'm
about?
not saying sexual.
Oh.
I'm talking about sexual. I was talking about posting
Dating?
stuff on Instagram and
Post and ghost on Instagram with
Yeah.
the ladies.
yeah.
All right.
You're all the moms that watch, all the Disney moms that watch you. He does. He has 85% demographic of females.
Good for you.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's like 80. I think it's almost 90%. Yeah. It's a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse
Come
me.
on, man. That 5%. I'm gonna listen. Right now, I'm talking to Playtex. If you guys want a guy to sponsor your
I
product,
think so. How about Summer's Eve?
Disposable douches, hair dye products. I'm your guy. Curling irons. I can fucking promote that shit.
Yeah. and hey, you know what I heard? It's fucking funny, dude. I'm gonna ask a question that I know the answer to. Jim
Okay,
Miller.
go ahead.
Jim, have you ever gotten Botox before?
I'm pretty certain I've eaten some botulism, but I've never gotten injected.
Okay, well, what Roger calls it, we call it Brotox. That's what I heard.
I have,
Botox.
and if I'm being honest with you, sir, you could use a little. You could.
Who are you talking to, me or Jim?
You.
Because don't fucking, we're gonna both kick your ass.
This is all scar tissue.
Yeah,
You
I
wouldn't-
do have so
you-
much scar tissue.
You would not know it if I didn't tell you, so I don't care. I've gotten Botox before.
I mean, I could tell a little bit.
But I haven't gotten in a while, but I'm also, how much older than you? How old are you?
9.
39.
Mhm.
All right. I'm 6 years older than
Yeah. No, you look good, buddy.
You'll need it. You'll need
You look
it.
good.
6 years, you'll need it. Yeah.
You look good.
Got a reputation to uphold over here, Frank.
Botox make you
Got a
red?
No, that's high blood pressure. And the fact that your basement's about 90 degrees.
It's hot tonight.
It's hot. Well, I'm
You're
wearing
in a
this hoodie
fucking
too, so-
Carhartt over there.
Yeah, I'm representing,
Rapping,
man.
baby.
I'm representing. You guys see this? Champ of the
merch.
Tramp right here.
Yeah, the merch that he only got for us.
Probably were expensive.
Nah,
they were
nah,
expensive.
nah.
Carhartt's not cheap.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get it going. So, we asked you have anything coming up, or when you said you got a bag for fights, man? I think that's kind of crazy. You got a bag for
Well,
fights, someone of your stature.
Again, you didn't hear this, but I was just asking Jim about that. He represents himself, so I said, "How does that work when you represent yourself? Do you? I mean, you literally are ringing and texting or whatever. UFC
Sean, right?
brass and
Shelby, yeah.
You know, it's like it's one of those things. It's sometimes it's easy, sometimes easier doing it myself. Other times it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. You know, like the benefit is one of what the heck is his name? Timir, right? One of the other 55 pounders. He his manager said that told him that I didn't want to fight him, and like all of a sudden I'm getting these tweets and stuff like that, and I'm like, that never happened. Yeah. I'm like, I'll share the my text records and emails with Sean Shelby, you know. So like, I screenshotted my shit and I put it up there, and I was like, your manager's lying to you, dude. Like,
oh, you put that right on?
I put it up there.
Good
don't fucking call me.
Yeah, saying like you're not accepting.
Yeah, don't tell me I'm ducking somebody, right? Like, I mean, I've literally never done that.
Didn't Connor just get fucking desecrated by Dana for doing that? Didn't he share a bunch of
he shared
a bunch of private, texts or whatever with him and Dana, and he put it out there, and Dana wasn't happy about it at all?
Yeah.
I think it was
way
more personal than what you're talking about, but
it wasn't like, hey, can I fight? And not getting a response for 3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, it has its benefits. Also, I mean, you keep the whole check to yourself.
Exactly. That, like I was telling him, like I opened up the place so that I wouldn't have to deal with bullshit. Unfortunately, I've had to deal with some bullshit. As you know, you hire people and you got to deal with bullshit.
Yeah,
but yeah, like I mean, there's always going to be some drama, and that's one of the messed up parts. Like I see some of the other gyms, like Jackson's and stuff like that, and some of the things that they've gone through, and it's like, man, like sounds kind of familiar. Right. Like it's
shout your gym out. Where is it?
Miller Brothers MMA. It's up in Sparta, New Jersey.
Maybe that's why I thought you and your brother did it, because it's Miller Brothers MMA. All right, that makes sense now.
I mean, we started MMA together, and
makes sense.
But so it's we got a nice facility, and it was great because I lived like 2 miles away for a while, so it was
perfect.
Yeah, it was easy for me to just bounce there. Now I'm like just over 20 minutes away, but it's close enough. It's close enough.
Yeah.
It's a place where I can do what I need to do. It'd be nice to have like a huge stable of guys, but at the same time, there's always that fucking drama that's always going to follow everything, where it's like, I mean, dealing with what I've had to deal with, and as an aging athlete too, it's like, all right, sometimes I don't feel like doing 6 rounds, like I'm just going to do 3 or 4 today, and like just gauge it. And like my problem is like, if I've got somebody there telling me what to do, I'm going to do it, and I've hurt myself doing that. And, I mean, like one of the issues that I always saw with, like, I had this great room of everybody around me. We had multiple UFC athletes, Strikeforce athletes, all these guys, and it's like, we're not training smart.
Yeah.
Like, why am I training with this guy in the area that's his weakness? Like, I don't need to just beat him up, on the ground. Like, he's a wrestler. I want to wrestle him. Yeah. He's a striker. I want to strike him. Like. And then, like, and using it as well, like, okay, body types, matching opponents, stuff like that. Like, I've always looked at, like, GSP and Demetrius Johnson. Yeah. Like, those guys always engineer their training camps, and, like, they're not doing shark bait rounds oh, hey, here's a Russian that can't speak a lick of English.
Go.
Like, he's also killed 5 people overseas, like, watch out for his spinning kick. Like, had to deal with that shit, like just seeing feet flying everywhere, like 2 weeks out from a fight, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
This guy's he's a 205 pounder. Why the hell am I going with him?
Yeah.
But like, like those guys always they did it with a purpose. Now like GSP, like there's a time where it's like, all right, I'm not the most excited. Like his fights aren't the most exciting to me, but they're also fascinating to me as a student of the game, because like, he's going out and he's beating these guys exactly where like he's strong and they're weak, and like doing it just by the book, And like that's one of the things I
The
think that we
crazy
missed
thing
out.
about GSP is he literally was not a collegiate wrestler, right? He did not wrestle.
Didn't
in
wrestle.
college.
He's from Canada,
Yeah.
so they don't wrestle in college there. I don't think really.
All right, well,
No, I'm saying, but
you know
they,
what
but,
I'm
they
saying.
don't, but they, he didn't wrestle
He doesn't have
youth.
a
He didn't wrestle
yeah,
youth
right.
at all.
No pedigree
yeah.
in his early
Yeah,
days,
right.
but there's no guy that takes anybody down better than GSP.
Yeah.
It's also that his jab,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you get.
yeah.
I mean, that's one of the
Off that
things.
Front foot. You know, he because everything's off that front foot, and so his back foot was for his front leg is obviously his penetration leg,
Mhm.
but that back leg he's always pushing off that, and he was training fencing for that.
Yeah.
They say fencers have
I can see that.
have
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
highest single leg jump.
Wow.
Because they're always their back
Yeah.
leg just pushing off it, lunging, and that's kind of what he does. He fucking times it and lunges, boom, gets in.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Footwork is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Who was it? Triple G was had the background in dancing. right?
Lomachenko.
Lomachenko. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
His dad made him dance for
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
Or something. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's what I'm dancing.
It's more fun to just punch somebody.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, a little
That's
easier.
the problem.
A little
It's like, you
Well, yeah, that's what you say. Like, George went out there and takes the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
And that's the smartest thing to do. Sometimes you don't end up fighting night with that one, though.
exactly. But
You think at some point you guys think there'll be like a super fight camp in Jersey? Because really, you guys do a lot of traveling around here. You bring a lot of the Russian guys come in. You're always you're going to Henzo's. Like you said, you used to drive an hour and a half to go to the AMA. But like Florida's got a couple, where everything's under one roof. You know what I mean? They're like super facilities, I guess I'd call them. You ever think you'll see one here in Jersey?
I think Nick's is the closest.
Yeah, true. I didn't think about Nick's when I said
it is,
that.
but
Yeah,
even Nick's, like, I'm there a majority of my week training there, because he built such a nice facility,
Yeah.
and the coach are there. But I still have to go to Ricardo's. I still go to Rutgers when I go there. I still go to Mark's. Like, I still go to a different strength and conditioning place. I think Jersey's just. It's a commuter state, dude.
Yeah.
Now,
people
you say
just.
you go to Mark's. Mark goes there so many days a week. You go there because you need.
I also go to Mark for pad work.
Okay.
Mark comes for sparring
Okay.
to Nick's, but then I go to Mark's for pad work.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. But I just think it's a commuter state, and you got to go, like you just said, you want to strike with the striker, you want to grapple the grab, you got to go to the specialty.
Yeah.
But because so many fighters are here, so many Russian fighters are coming in, you don't ever see that in the future, like building a super facility here and where everything's under one roof. And you're right, I forgot about shout out to Nick Catone's facility in Bricktown. That is kind of one stop shopping.
Yeah, that is.
How many square feet
I
is that
feel
place?
like too. I
It's
feel
massive.
like ATT is very attractive because it's fucking in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah,
It's
the weather,
warm, it's
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Even some other gyms. Jersey. You want to train here. You got to sacrifice a little bit.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. And it's something as simple as like tomorrow morning, we get up in the morning to go to train. We got to get up a little early, start the car, scrape the windows, like shit like that. Like that sucks for some people that are coming from fucking Florida.
Yeah.
That's why
But a lot of fighters do come in here, man. A lot,
No, they do. Yeah, well, people
Cody,
want,
Marlon.
Yeah, people, they want to train with the best
Claudia.
guys. And some of the best coaches, so they're willing to sacrifice it. But there's definitely thousands of gyms that have great fighters, great coaches. So there's a lot to pick from.
Yeah.
I think Jersey. I don't know. Jersey's a special place. I think because of wrestling. Wrestling is big in Jersey. It's great. The fact that Henzo and Ricardo decided to
ended up
do Jersey, end up in Jersey, that influenced all of us.
Yeah.
And just the grittiness, blue collar type people. I think that's why Jersey kind of produces a lot of good fighters and stuff like that.
I wouldn't,
Some good reality stars.
Here we go.
The best.
The best. Now you have your kids wrestle?
My older two wrestled for a few years. Then they wanted to take a little hiatus. I kind of did too because I got pushed into the head coach role. And that was also like that was when I was sick too. So like it was just
burn the candle on both ends.
Yeah, so like just doing everything and for them they were so young. I mean, like my Amelia started at I think it was 4, 5, and 6. So why?
What are your kids' ages now?
10, 9, 7, and 5.
Okay.
So it was Amelia started. She wrestled for a year, and it was like great because we we had a bunch of dads helping out.
Well, that's cool.
And like, you know, there was like one extra group of kids that, so like, okay, one dad grabs 2 groups.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the next year, it's like, oh, there's only like 3 dads and the coach. And the coach is like, I can't do it anymore. And I'm like, fuck.
Everybody's looking at you.
Yeah, you know, and like, and then I had 2 kids on the team, and you know, Wyatt was young, you know, 4 years old, and like, they just kind of, they'd been to the gym a bunch, and they thought it was playtime, and like, then when my kids are goofing off, and then it's hard to wrangle everybody in. But like, it's at the same time, they're also young, so it's like, all right, you know, we're gonna do calisthenics. Like if you can do a shoulder roll at 4 years old,
that's great.
You probably have better spatial awareness than a majority of the kids you're gonna wrestle. So, you know, or a cartwheel. Like so like we just did a bunch of like
functional stuff.
And like I literally was like, all right, we're gonna do double legs, we're gonna do stand-ups, we're gonna do halves, and maybe we'll throw in a cradle.
That's it. Yeah, it's great. That's all I need.
Like that's it. Like you don't need to be a spladle or a Navy like 5 years old.
No,
those kids, they could find someplace else. But like the group that it was, I was just trying to.
I think honestly at that age you want to teach kids just the very basics, and don't teach them a lot, because then when they go to wrestle, they only do what they're supposed to do. You know, and they don't start teaching them too much. They're like, I don't know what the fuck they're going on. It's fun with the wrestling now. My one kid, I got both of them wrestling now. My one's super competitive, and my older one's kind of. I make them just. I'm like, dude, you got to learn the family trade here. You know what I mean? Like at least you don't have to. You don't have to compete. You don't want to compete, but like it's a great workout. It's great for self defense.
Yeah.
And he doesn't complain about it. He's like,
good.
all right, I'm down. Learn how to scrap a little bit.
They like my third, Cassidy, she's like the little dancer and stuff like that. So she's got her thing, but she's also like scrappy as hell.
Yeah.
So like she enjoyed, you know, she was taking jiu-jitsu and the striking class.
Wow, that's cool.
And you know, I think my youngest Sawyer, I think he would like wrestling. I think Wyatt, now that he's matured a little bit, I mean, he's just like, he's strong as an ox and like lean, like just like he's
made
like,
for it.
Yeah, he's made for it. Like he's got the like nice long lean arms.
Yeah.
Like he's got it. Like the other kids, they'll slap on a choke and they'll like squeeze, and you're just like, okay. Like my 9-year-old puts a choke on you, and you're like, oh shit. Like I got to address this a little bit, you know. And I want him to get back into it. Amelia, she likes hitting pads.
Oh, that's cool. Like, that's great.
During the summer, I'd get her, you know, bring her hitting pads with me, get her on the pads a little bit after.
I think that's so important to get kids into physical activities young, because we're in such a technological world now, and it's obviously in the time we're living in. There's everything's limited. Sports has been limited so much. So yeah, the more you can do with your kids, and the more you can push them and get them in, I think that's just a great thing, you know.
Yeah, sports are great for kids. I mean, any sport really. But obviously, I'm definitely you know, favor wrestling just because of all the shit it could teach you. But any sport for a kid, like my kids, like you're doing you got to do some sport or you're getting a job. What do we, you know? You got to do something.
Fire up that lawnmower.
Yeah. Shit, man. So where? So you said Jim Miller underscore? No, Jim underscore Miller.
Jim Miller underscore
155.
Yeah. I don't go on Twitter anymore. I haven't gone on Twitter in a long time.
No, I'm about to delete it. I think.
So am I. I got it like, I forget what it was, like a year and a half ago. I can't remember. I think he was a 35 or 45 pound fighter. Like I ended up getting in like an argument with people. Like one of his kids fought some, you know, he threw up an armbar and his toes got caught in the cage, and like they kind of spun away and his foot was caught. He ends up getting the armbar, and somebody, you know, one of the news things, Junkie or something like that, like posted a picture, and then you got all these people like, oh, he's cheating, he's hooking the cage, and I'm like, he made his armbar worse by doing that. I was like, he didn't grab the cage with his toes, like he was pushing off the cage, and his toes got caught in it. No, and they're like arguing with me, and I'm like, have you ever done an armbar? Have you ever pushed your foot against the cage? Like if you're driving, your toes are gonna curl. Like it's just the way it works. Like, and like, I find myself like arguing with these people that like
you can't. You can't. You know, I used to do that. I didn't so much argue, but I was more a smart aleck
Made
back,
light of it,
and
yeah.
I would address it, and I never took it too serious, but I don't even do that
Yeah.
anymore.
I was trying to
because
explain
you're
to him, like,
never
I got
you're
no
never
skin in the
gonna
game.
win.
I don't know this
Right,
guy.
right.
Yeah.
You're never gonna win. They're an expert on your life. They know
Yeah.
everything about you. They know the sport better than you do.
Yeah.
Probably have never rolled a day in their life, so you're never gonna win.
Yeah.
That's funny you said it, because I fought Jim Gray the very first time. He was wrestle fuck with me pretty much up against the cage, and I'm trying to push off the fence with my feet, and my toes exactly curled. The ref's like, stop grabbing it. Stop grabbing the fence. I'm like, dude, I'm not. I'm like a fucking chimp, bro. I ain't grabbing a fence. You know?
Yeah, I'm gonna rip the damn thing off. You know, like,
Now you had a fight back. I mean, it was a while ago where you actually got injured. And who stepped in for you? You were supposed to fight
Wyman.
Wyman,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
and Miller stepped in for you. That's
yeah.
that's it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I actually got hurt going with you.
yeah.
But I mean, I was like,
Way to bring it up, man.
yeah. No, it wasn't. It was like, no.
Wait a minute, I didn't know that part of the story.
Yeah. Well, no, but it was like,
Oh, shit.
but I tore. I hurt my LCL on my left leg, on a right. I can't remember at this point, but my left leg or right leg, and I was just dealing with it, getting through it, wearing a brace, and then I'm going with him. We're just, was nothing even crazy.
Yeah.
It just popped, and I was like, on my other knee, my MCL popped. I'm like, dude, I was like, that's it, I'm done.
Oh, see, I didn't know that part of the story.
Yeah.
So you basically just say, hey, you want to take?
He
a fight from
sabotaged.
me?
He sabotaged me.
Yeah. That's exactly what I do. I want to fight on a week's notice.
Yeah. Right. I think I fucking suffer. It was literally was like 2 weeks. It was like a week's notice. 2 weeks notice. Crazy.
8 days, I think.
Was it really?
Yeah. When they offered me the fight, it was 8 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that the only fight you've ever missed due to an injury? I don't.
No.
No?
I think one time my back went out pretty good. Yeah.
Who was that?
Gray. One of the Gray fights got rebooked. And then I broke my face in training once, so I couldn't fight either.
Yes, I remember that one actually. Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. I got hit with a spinning back kick, but I ducked into it, and his heel like barely hit my cheekbone. But I broke my face a couple times before in fights, and it hit me. Boom! I go, it's broke. It's broke. Mark's like looking at me like, yo, chill out. It's broke. I go, it's fuck. I'm telling you, it's broke. My whole face went numb. I'm like, damn it. And I fucking, of course, I go to the hospital. Fucking broke. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, knock on wood. I haven't had to pull out of one yet.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Been close.
Yeah.
There have been a few that I probably shouldn't have fought as well.
Right. Well, hey, I mean, you know what too? Like, these new kids, they think they want a perfect camp. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, no,
it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Everybody's fights injured to a degree, right?
100%, bro.
To a degree.
100%.
Right, it's about what degree it is, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're fucking veterans. I've been in the fucking UFC for fucking multiple years.
Yeah.
It's like you learn how to. I feel like being a professional athlete and doing it for a living, you learn how to deal with injuries.
Yeah,
that's what you do. I learned how to train around injuries my whole career.
Yeah, which you just addressed recently. You went over to Colombia. You did the stem cell thing. Is that anything you would ever consider? And would that have beneficial qualities to Lyme disease?
Well, Renee actually did get she got the IV.
Right.
And I don't know. She said feels a little better. But.
Is that anything you even consider?
A
lot of fighters are doing it, man.
Yeah,
I follow Bio Accelerator, right?
Yeah,
I follow them, and there's like every week they got a new fighter over there.
Yeah,
fighters, wrestlers.
I would do it. Like I've dealt with shoulder injuries for a while. My neck's a little banged up. It's like.
Yeah, I got stem cells in my neck, my shoulder, my hands, my hips.
Dude,
I did the whole gambit.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's worth a shot.
Right.
Yeah. That's what
you got to go to Colombia. Actually, no, they have it stateside, right?
You can.
Yeah.
It's a little different, but yeah, I've had stem cells in HSS before.
Okay.
Yeah, in the shoulder, and I swear I have arthritis, which is kind of crazy, fucking arthritis, but I had it in 2017, and I'm still, still fucking swinging. So I guess it's working.
Well, man, I've thoroughly enjoyed this, Jim. Definitely, man. You are a legend, man. It's an honor to finally meet you. I've watched many, many fights of yours. So before you leave, you definitely got to sign the board.
All right.
I think we've asked you 3 times now. Anything you want to plug coming up? No fights on the agenda yet, but
Sean Shelby, get him up.
Sean Shelby,
come on,
go.
Make something happen. Make something happen.
But yeah, man, definitely a pleasure having you. We obviously have a lot of history, and I remember I think it was 1 or 2 fights before you fought fucking another typical Jim Miller fight, and I was like, Jim makes you proud to be from Jersey, bro.
I
think
saw
John
that
told
quote.
you, man, and I
saw
was
that
like,
quote, yeah.
and that's for real, man. I mean it, dude. It's you know, I feel like we're one and the same type of person. I'm willing to go out there and get after it, and I was proud to say we're both from Jersey, my man.
Very similar fighting styles, very similar heart in both you guys. Yeah, it's an honor to be your friend. It's an honor to get to meet you finally, and big things in the future for both you guys. So,
Thank you.
Cool.
Thanks for having me.
Peace.